Huntingburg will soon have a new housing development on its north side. More on that announcement, plus Denny Spinner talks about the future in Monday with the Mayor, and a look back at chicken clucking from the Dubois County 4-H Fair. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Huntingburg's north side will soon welcome a new subdivision as part of a countywide workforce housing initiative. This morning, city and county officials gathered to announce plans for the new Hunters Crossing subdivision at the Huntingburg Event Center. The new neighborhood will be in an area between 14th and 17th Streets and will feature 147 land plots of varying sizes for single-family workforce housing for purchase. City officials say more than 120 new homes will be built in the neighborhood. The goal will be to attract younger families, though the homes will be open to all ages and there will not be government subsidies. The new homes will be priced at $150,000. Now, Indianapolis-based developer Boxer Girl LLC will be heading up the development efforts, with Jago Homes of Owensboro, Kentucky serving as the exclusive builder. Jane Hendrickson spoke on Boxer Girl's behalf this morning. Hendrickson says Huntingburg has a lot to offer for developers. She says workforce housing for younger families is now on the uptick after the housing market crash of 2008.
It's finally back on the uptick as far as since we've had the bust. I think that when you have unemployment rates that we have here, you have nothing but more money to invest.
As mentioned, this morning's announcement marked the first major step for County Economic Development Group Dubois Strong in implementing the recommendations of its recently completed housing study. Dubois Strong President Ed Cole says the number of lots that will be part of this project was an unexpected surprise for him and others.
No, not 147, and I did not realize 147 lots. That's fantastic. And I know in the beginning stages, they are really looking at this as a big picture project, which we really appreciate.
In addition to the housing, a new city park will be built next to the subdivision. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner says the park turned out to be one of the biggest parts of this deal.
One of the first things we heard 3 years ago as part of our struggler process was that there was a need for a North Side Park. And again, the fact that we mentioned that in our very first meeting with Jane and Boxer Girl, that a need for a park on the north side, and they were willing to accommodate that, make that part of their plans, and that's where the city's investment in this comes in.
The south entrance of Hunters Crossing will connect to the new railroad overpass, which will be under construction within the next year, something Spinner says also played a key role in making this project a reality. Construction at Hunters Crossing is set to be done in phases, and the first phase gets underway in the spring of 2016. This project will be privately funded, with a total investment expected to be between $17.2 and $20.8 million. A Sunday afternoon ATV ride in southern Spencer County turned tragic with a crash and the subsequent death of an 11-year-old Warwick County girl. At about 11:25 yesterday morning, Indiana conservation officers say 11-year-old Kate Brugenschmidt was riding an ATV with friends in an area just outside of Rockport. Authorities say Brugenschmidt lost control of the ATV as she went up the hill, causing it to roll over on top of her. Brugenschmidt was trapped under the ATV and the impact caused head trauma. Conservation officers say Brugenschmidt's friend, 11-year-old Carly Frobiter, was riding the ATV as a passenger at the time of the crash. Frobiter was able to pull Brugenschmidt out from under the ATV, and Frobiter's father called 911. The Spencer County Coroner's Office pronounced Brugenschmidt dead at the scene. Conservation officers say Brugenschmidt and Frobiter were not wearing helmets or safety gear at the time of the crash. Conservation officers are once again asking riders to wear helmets and protective gear before riding an ATV. A peaceful stroll along the side of the highway in Huntingburg ended badly for an Indianapolis man over the weekend when police caught him with narcotic drugs. At around 12:30 yesterday afternoon, Huntingburg police were called about the possibly intoxicated man walking on the shoulder of US 231 north of 17th Street. A short time later, officers found 54-year-old Roger Warrener walking along the shoulder of the highway. Officials say Warrener was very disoriented and his words were slurred. A portable breath test found that Warrener had not drank any alcohol, and emergency personnel were then called to look at him. Warner originally told officers he was having diabetic issues, but after being asked for identification, Warner opened his wallet and officers saw narcotic pills in a small baggie in plain sight. Police counted 27 Xanax pills and 4 Valium pills that Warner had on him without a prescription. Of course, both are Schedule 4 controlled substances. Warner was booked into the DuBois County Security Center and is charged with possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. Of course, this week is Strassenfest week in Jasper, and royalty has been crowned. Camille Ruff, the daughter of Dr. Michael and Whitney Ruff, will be the 2015 Miss Strassenfest. First runner-up was Kelsey Grayman. The second runner-up was Michaela Lechner. Brooke Eppel is Miss Congeniality. Kayla Werner will be Miss Photogenic. Meanwhile, Andrea Burkhart will be this year's Junior Miss Strassenfest. Grace Truesdale was the first runner-up. Kate Stemley took home second runner-up. Carolyn Prechtel was Miss Congeniality. And Isabel Blasey took home Miss Photogenic honors. Twins Aiden and Cole Lampert were named as Little Miss and Little Mr. Strassenfest, respectively. Of course, this year's Strassenfest officially gets underway Thursday night with opening ceremonies. The Strassenfest will conclude Sunday. The Strassenfest pageants will air in their entirety here on 18 WJTS. They air Friday, August 7th at 7:30 p.m. after the local news, and again on Sunday, August 9th at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And finally tonight, beaches at Patoka Lake will likely be closed for the rest of the year. Patoka Lake interpretive naturalist Dana Rekaloff says summer flooding at the lake is currently holding water some 10 feet above the normal summer pool. The closure also extends to the Osborne Boat Ramp fishing pier, where high waters have made the area inaccessible. In a news release, Rekaloff says the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are only able to release small amounts of water from the dam. He says that's due to flooding in farm fields downstream all across the area. Now, boaters can still get out on the water. However, Rekaloff says there is a large amount of debris still floating in the lake due to all of the rain. Rekaloff says boaters should use caution while out on the water. All right, coming up after the break, Denny Spinner is victorious in tonight's Monday with the Mayor, and later on, the best of chicken clucking from the DuBois County 4-H Fair. We're back after this.